Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of the Dawn Approach podcast. It is 1 year since we started this journey. It's been a really good year. We've done a lot of podcasts. We've done a lot of other content as well. And yeah, there's been some good winners along the way. We have obviously Danny and the lovely Dawn with us today. We'll start with you, Dawn. So you can say hello to everybody, and then we'll have your moment of the year that's gone by.
Yeah, and a happy year anniversary to the Dawn Approach and to us and to all our loyal following, who I'm glad we are providing the winners both on and offline and in between and everywhere else. But it's been an incredible flat season we're coming off and jumping into already an incredible jump season. And we had, not to go right back into the past, but Royal Ascot, we really provided and divided and everything in between. My moment of the year, I mean, I know Danny, who's Danny's is, and I really, really did love the Epsom Derby with City of Troy. But I have two moments, if you'd allow me, and one of them, of course, is Blue Stocking and Rosserine. I mean, every year I make my pilgrimage to the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, and every year it's different. Every year it gives a different story. And Rossa and that girl, when they came up and just hit the line, that Judmont, it was reminiscent of Enable. She was just brilliant. And anybody who doubted her, you know, after what she was doing all season and coming so close to the boys as well, you kind of go, she's my first ARC winner I've actually backed. Now, I backed her in running, but she's incredible. And what a broodmare she's going to be as well. Like, she's going to be an incredible broodmare. Selfishly, I would have liked to have seen her come back and roll the dice again next year, but she's going off to be a mum now, and hopefully she gets a very nice baby daddy, because there seems to be lots of nice baby daddies floating around the place. One who's not going to go and be a baby daddy next year, though, is King Cyprius. I mean, that as well for me. His performances, he just, if it's possible, he's getting better, and to come back off an infection and nearly die, he is Lazarus, basically. He's Lazarus. And, you know, I've been lucky enough to see him in 3 different countries and win all those times. And yeah, he's incredible. So we get to enjoy King Cyprius. My moment with him is the 7 moments, really. But yeah, King Cyprius and Queen Blue Stocking. I'm having 2. I'm greedy.
Okay. Danny.
Yeah, so everyone knows how much I love my local track, York. So to see City of Troy win the Judmont, especially the way he did from the front, the hard way, under a fantastic ride by Ryan Moore, was probably my moment of the year. Seeing him parading in front of the stands there, and then obviously, in fact, we saw him before that in the Eclipse at Sandown, didn't we? So. Yeah, to witness him twice before, unfortunately, not quite enjoying the dirt in America. But yeah, what a season he had. To do what he did on soft ground, soft to heavy ground that day at Sandown, to then go and do it on probably the quickest ground of the year at York, was quite phenomenal. So yeah, City of Troy winning the Judmont was my moment of the year.
Yeah, we were lucky as a team to be able to see him on more than one occasion. Me and Dawn were at the Derby, then we were at the Eclipse, and then you were at York. I just wish I could have got over to Delmar to see him one last time, and obviously my beloved Fierceness as well, which has got to be one of my moments of the year, actually, in being lucky enough to be over in America for the Florida Derby and see him win by half the track that day. But I'll stick to an on the podcast moment of the year, and just gives me another excuse to say that, I backed audience and tipped audience at 50-1. You know, I'll live off that. I'll have to sort of give it up now because yeah, it was printing money, wasn't it? Who's the white cap? It was a massive, unbelievable moment, really, that everything that I said on here came into fruition, which doesn't happen all the time. So then when it does, you've got to cling to those moments, because we get humbled in this game enough of the time. So yeah, audience winning the Lockinge at a massive 50-1 and tipped up on the podcast was definitely my moment of the year. And hopefully we'll have plenty more big price winners over the next 12 months as well.
You've got another 49 times to get it wrong, so you're grand.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, it was one thing that I've written down to mention, that me and my data. I haven't been keeping a close eye on how we perform on the podcast, because I know we muse, we just we throw out a few selections that we like and all that sort of stuff. But now we've sort of settled on doing naps, next bests, and each way plays. For all those people that mock us and say, "Oh, you throw out millions of selections and all of this bollocks," I'm sure I haven't got 49 wrong since, audience. So I will be recording our performance, and anyone is welcome on the website to go and see how we're getting on, whether that be with Digitip subs, with Dundalk, because we do our Fundalk Fridays and our Wacky Wednesdays at the moment. All of that's recorded to a point, win and place, and I will do something similar to for the next 12 months and see how we perform. You never know, we might lose a little bit over the year, but we're having fun while we're doing it, and that's the main thing. And we're not telling anyone to get absolutely stuck into any of these selections that we're putting out. We do tell people to get stuck in to the sub selections, and that probably gives us a quick chance to say how well we're doing at the moment. We are absolutely flying in November. Josiah, his speed ratings are starting to come good after, I'd say, he's probably going to listen to this and be like, "Oi, I'm really good all the time," but his flat stuff is not as good as his jumps, and he did even say that to us. He said he's going to be better over the jumps, and yeah, he's proving that for sure. He's learning a little bit with staking plans and all of that sort of stuff, and we're advising him and helping him along with that to make him a better punter and a better selector of his horses. And yeah, he's doing really well this month and has done since the jump sort of came back. So, but Danny, you're on absolute fire, aren't you?
Yeah, the all weather's come about, so my time of year. I mean, we can look back at the data over the last few years, and I think it's kind of similar pattern as it gets to this time of the year. You get those horses that have been kept under wraps and coming out to earn the Christmas money. So sub members have already earned the Christmas money, and now they're saving up for January, because January is always a long time for people. So we've got a good month or so to go to add to the January funds now that we've got the Christmas funds in the back pocket already.
Yeah, that's true. And I thought we were actually going to have, I think we'd had goodness knows, I don't even know how many winning days on the bounce. And I thought, oh no, today we had one selection left and it was mine. And I was thinking, oh no, here we go. But Elterwater for the Cubblers came good. Advice at 17-2, wins at 15-2. And yeah, so that's another winning day. And we keep the money train rolling. And I'm on my sister's laptop because my laptop's giving up the ghost. My phone wasn't playing ball either. So I've used some of the profits to buy a new laptop. So hopefully we'll have everything crystal clear, and the editing will get even better over time. And yeah, got to spend the money wisely when you get it, because like
reinvest.
I said, it does humble you at times, but we win long term. So right. We are going to do our naps, next best, and each way plays, but I did just want to give a quick rundown in stats. I know, Dawn, you're probably going to roll your eyes here because I know you don't like too much data going through your head, but I just wanted to say that we have had 410,000 views in the last year on this podcast, and that's over all the content that we've done, whether that be videos and shorts. But that is a lot higher than I was expecting it to be when I look back at the numbers. If we continue the way we're going and improve on the content that we're already producing, then I don't see why we can't be right up there with all the top horse racing podcasts that are out there. And it's 2,500 hours of watch time for people. So that's a hell of a lot of our faces on people's screens in the last year. So thank you to everybody that's watched. Yeah, it's brilliant, really. It's yeah, thank you to everyone that's watched, and we want to thank a couple of people. I know, Dawn, you've got a couple of people that you wanted to give a shout out to, and that we're going to give them a Digitips racing pin who's attached to Digi here. Thanks to Horse Racing Pins that have created these for us. We're finally in a position to be able to start giving some of them out to members and deserving people. And yeah, Dawn, I know you've got a couple of people you wanted to mention that always watch the pod, always shout us out, always give us support, and they deserve their pin for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, like you're saying there, Rich, stats and everything else, but still, I mightn't like numbers, but I like the fact that people are watching, and it means an awful lot. Even the odd message or that you get, you know. Or the first person that I will mention is one of our very, very loyal fans and followers is Terry, and like, you're guaranteed every Saturday, and he shows his slips, whether it be €2, €20, or €200. Well, he's actually in pounds, but you know, it's just lovely to see somebody have some luck and to follow along and enjoy what we're doing. And yeah, I think Terry definitely deserves one of the Digitip pins. And yeah, like you say, they're lovely. They're actually a good talking point. I do be at race courses and people do ask about it now, and the quality as well. So shout out as well to Horse Racing Pins, because the quality is elite. Katie Smith has been watching from the very beginning. Now Katie is a jock in her own right, and her brother is a jockey, and she listens to us. She listens to us if she's going racing. I know she's only started college, so she probably listens to us on the way to college. I applaud her for her her support all the time. I even got a lovely DM from her today with her saying that it was our birthday. So I think Katie deserves one too, Rich. Brian, who follows us as well, Ian, and there's a very good guy who I think we should possibly in the future bring him on if he ever wants to show his face. He's called Tipped Up, and he is very good at what he does. He's only starting, but he's one to watch as well. And I think if he ever wants to come and sit on the pod, whether he wants to wear a mask or not, but another very, very good, loyal supporter. So they're my fantastic five, and they always comment. They always have something good to say, and it helps morale that you don't feel like you're just putting this out here and no one's listening and no one cares. Well, we do know people are listening, and we do know that they care because there's 4,000 or 4 gazillion views or whatever that number was. I can't do numbers. I can bet, but I can't do numbers.
400,000. That's a lot.
Refreshing to see.
Yeah, it is.
Loyalty is hard to come by, especially in this game.
Yeah, that's true. So we're giving away a few there. We'll also do a giveaway to 5 people. And it can be, you know, if you want 2 pins and you're listening and you've already been given one there by Dawn, if you have a friend that you want to give one to, then please comment down below there. And yeah, we'll give away another 5 to people that comment on this video. So that's 10 pins it looks like we're giving away. And yeah, thank you to everyone for all the support. Now, all of that stuff out the way, let's get to the good stuff, the stuff that people want to hear, and that's about the horses coming up this weekend. We've got the Cheltenham big meeting, the 3 days, and then we've got Navan. I think we're going to touch on Bahrain as well, just because it's, you know, there's £500,000 to the winner of that race. So it's worth touching on it. Some decent horses running over there. And yeah, did you want to do a in the flesh and on the sofa before we go? I haven't got anything because I'm watching a lot of racing, but nothing sticks out to me in a massive way. Although there is one horse, and I know Dawn is going to mention that horse anyway. So we'll go to you, Dawn, if you wanted to just quickly touch on anything you've seen.
Yeah, in the flesh. Well, Nace is the place. Last year we seen Slade Steele, you know, win at Nace, and I banged on to people I'd seen Slade Steele, and he was going to go all the way, and he went all the way to Cheltenham and won. And last week at the jumps on Sunday at Nace, what I will say as well, such a good atmosphere, so many people out, so many people wanted to just talk horse. You know, we've seen Marine Nationale kind of not do what people thought he was going to do. But Mikey O'Sullivan says keep the faith. You know, he's going to Leopardstown at Christmas. We could see a different Marine Nationale. Calixius was so good. Baron Glory just pinged. But Lieutenant Main for me, with John McConnell, he's the McNeil's horse. He's a dual bumper winner. He won by 16 lengths, and he with Ben Harvey up. He was damn impressive. He was very, very, very impressive. I know everybody will probably talk about Willie's horse, who, thanks to a tractor, I didn't get to see in the flesh. So Lieutenant Main in the flesh for me, he's one that's gone on my books. Obviously, he's not my 5 to follow because we did 5 to follow before the season had really got underway. But Lieutenant Main, keep following him. He's very, very exciting. And to win like that, there was discussions. Did anything else want to come to him? Well, probably not, because you're going to mess up. You know, the handicap is going to be harsh on you if you're going that close to something you can just killer to post it. But yeah, Lieutenant Main in the flesh. And then on the sofa, and one of my anti-posters for the Mayor's Chase at Cheltenham, I have her at 33. Someone has her at 100 to 1. She could be anything. Banger yesterday. She was excellent. I'm glad she's starting to show how really good she is. I met the breeder. The breeder said why she was called She Could Be Anything, and she could be anything. She keeps getting better. And yesterday you would have thought she was beaten. Now, half of it was down to Shawnee Bone, but the rest of it was down to her. She was grindy. She was brave. She was giving weight to the second horse. Yes, you can argue that the second horse, that was her debut over. No excuses. Absolutely no excuses. Halfway around, I was ready to switch my television off. I know, Rich, you're saying no, you weren't. But I had just gone. I was already having a rotten start to the month. And I thought, well, this is it. Hell, hey, this girl that I've banged on about for 3 years is going to let me down too. Well, she didn't. She came back swinging. So at 33s, I'm happy. And I'll just throw in as well, I have Romeo Coolio at 12 to 1, another anti-post for the Supremes at Cheltenham. And he's one of my 5 to follow.
Okay, lovely. Danny, you got anything? Or should we move on to our naps?
Yeah, well, I'll just quickly mention Boson. Now, it's not the most fashionable way to look at things, a horse like that, and a lot of people will go, why are you picking a handicapper that's rated 55? Well, if you follow your form and follow your horses, then you'll know that Ian Williams, especially your all-weather, he has a knack of finding the right races for these horses once they've dropped down a few pounds in the handicap, and obviously it was put up to subs a couple of days ago when he won at 7 to 2. Had dropped a fair way in the weights, and he's actually entered again tomorrow, believe it or not. Now Ryan Kavanagh takes over an apprentice handicap, so he's carrying a penalty from winning the other day, but they're taking 5 off in the race, so he's effectively running off the same mark essentially. So yeah, and if he wins that, he'll go again. He'll go again probably on Monday, and then before you know it, he's had three in the same month, and he's top of the leaderboard, or at least near the top. So yeah, keep an eye on Ian Williams over the all-weather season, and obviously keep an eye on Boson over the next few runs at least, because he's still got a good few pounds in hand, especially now he's got his head in front.
Yeah, nice one. And then we've got our boy coming back as well, haven't we?
We do. We got Sensorworth coming back. He'll be running next week, more than likely. So yeah, it'll be good to get him back on the track. He'll obviously come on for it, and then we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, exciting times.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Going to be good to come up this weekend and see you guys and see him as well, because that's been a long time in coming. Yeah, we'll move on to the selections that everyone's been waiting for, and we'll start with our naps. We'll do one each, and then we'll go to the next best plays. So Dawn, who is your nap for this weekend?
Well, it comes from Navan, and you won't be surprised who, sorry, my nap is in the beginner's chase, is King of Kingsfield. Absolutely love him, followed him off a cliff. He was the horse to take out of the race. That was when he was second to Brighter Days Ahead. To be quite honest with you, the way she was jumping, I think he could have got closer to her. he's following in the footsteps of Fakir Duderee. Now, Fakir Duderee won this in 2019, then went on to win the Drinmore. King of Kinsfield has an entry in the Drinmore, so that's something to follow now, because we're starting to get into the really important, Berry House, then Leopardstown, then you're talking DRF, then you're straight to Cheltenham, which everybody has on the brain. He was second to Far and Glory last year in the Royal Bond at Berry House. So, he's going to come close again at Berry House. But he's 7-2 at the moment. Jack is up. And, greats like Hollow Games, Batfield Vega, Easy Work, Backer Duderees, like I said, have all won this. He also, if you look at what he did at DRF last season, we're still in the same year. Ballyburn won that. Slade Steele was second, and third was fourth, and the Kingsfield was third. He's the only one that didn't win at the Cheltenham Festival. So you have to think, well, maybe something was off that day. But yeah, he's my nap of the weekend, nap of the 3 days if we're including Friday into that. Come on, the King.
Nice one. Thank you. Danny?
Believe it or not, my nap actually runs on Sunday in the 12:10 race at none other than Navan.
Wow. We're sticking with Ireland here, are we?
Yeah, I am for now, yeah. And you'll be surprised to hear it's a horse called Quilometer for the Rob Cors.
Rob Core is back. The jumps are back. And Rob
Where's
Core
the
fans,
t-shirt?
the Rob Core fan favourite is back again. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what price she's going to be, to be honest, but she cost 500,000. We only got to see her once this time last year. She was beaten 5 lengths by Only by Night, and Only by Night came out and won twice again after that. And then unfortunately we didn't see the best of Only by Night after those 2 other wins. So I think more was expected on that day, but at the same time it was soft and heavy ground. I don't think that's to her liking really, and I think the ground will probably be a lot better for her, and she'll suit seeing a hurdle. So yeah, it's a good starting point for her. Like I say, I'm not sure what price she'll be. It's more on potential than anything else. But yeah, I'm excited to see her start a career over hurdles.
Okay, nice one. Thank you. I was just looking at my notes there because I was umming and ahhing over 2 horses. And I joked with you before we came on that my nap was also at Navan, but it's not. So I thought it might be one of the same horses if it was going to be. I was tempted to tip Valgrand as my nap. He impressed me massively last time. He jumped unbelievably well and skipped away from the field. It reminded me of Hurricane Fly, the way he jumped, which may be getting a little bit over the top, but he literally didn't touch a twig. And when the horses jump and the jockey doesn't move upwards, they just sort of glide through. It's just it's so good to watch. And he won really, really easily. I'm just a tiny, tiny bit worried that the step up in trip may not suit. It may be perfectly fine. It may, but I would have been all over him if.
What race is that? Sorry, Rich.
It's the 3:30. The Albert Bartlett Novices Hurdle. So it's against Potter's Charm, which basically means to me it's a match bet race because Valgrand put Gail Marler in her place last.
Well, yeah. Sorry, carry on. I'll talk afterwards.
Yeah, no, yeah. Put her in her place a little bit last time, and I think he's got to give weight, but he's not my nap, but he would be very, very close to, and I think at 6-4, I think he is. It's a tiny bit on the short side for me to get involved. But yeah, have you got an opinion on
it? Not necessarily about Valgrand. I agree with everything you say there, but I will just mention in regards to Gail Marler. She wasn't quite 100% that day. Okay. She had a couple of issues, which isn't ideal, but you kind of roll the dice when you've got a horse down there and whatnot. But she wasn't the same horse, should I say. It wasn't anything significant that you look at and go, oh yeah, clearly there's an issue there. But she wasn't behaving in the same sort of manner before, and she was sweating up quite badly and just not herself. So if you were willing to put a line through that, the fact, yes, she was put in a place, but she now gets £7.
I think she's value at 15 to 2 too. Like I did a run through, which I'll do if the boss will allow me at the end. I've done a quickie for the 3 days of like, just I give a name of each. And I have Gail Mahler each way. I rode the Mammy, Victress Gale, as I've said many a time. What she did at Galway, I mean, she was very good. I'm not taken away from Val Grand at all. I thought he was super impressive, but I do think Gail Mahler with the 7 and at 15 to 2, she's value.
She was getting £2 that day.
She got two, didn't she? She now got to give another 5 away, which he's got to give another 5 to her. Which, to me, it wouldn't make the difference.
No, I mean, if you're basing
that's the thing. The trip to me is an unknown, and that's why I'm going to have to leave him alone for my nap. I will probably do a double because they're trained. My nap is trained by the same person, and it's Lou de Sud. Now he was second in the Betfair hurdle. He was second in the county hurdle as well. But he's made for chasing, although he did make an absolutely stuttering error on his chase debut, but still won by 10 lengths, I think. Now, I like it when horses make errors in their first couple of races over fences, because it goes one of two ways. Either they go, I really don't like this game, or it teaches them, they learn from it, and clearly he learned from it. I think it was the 4th fence he made the error at. There's plenty of other fences after that. He got his wind back, he came on strong, and he won by, I don't know really what he beat, to be fair, but he came away and won easily. I think he's going to be a very, very good horse over fences, and I think last time I saw the prices, he was 11 to 8. Now, he can't be 11 to 8. To me, he's even money shot. He's 50% chance of winning that race for me. So I think he might go off a shade odds on. If he can still get 11 to 8, I'd be taking that. I'll probably have a small win double on Valgrand Lurdesid.
It was interesting because there was another horse earlier this week, Caliph de Burley, 4-year-old taking on Elders, pinging absolutely every single fence, and then just made a shuddering error, and obviously was the end of the race. But like you say, those type of horses are ones that you want to keep an eye on for next time. Is the confidence back? If the confidence is back, then the fact that they put the 4-year-old in that race to start with kind of tells you that it's clearly showing the right signs. So
exactly.
As you say, if they learn from it, then they're certainly ones to keep an eye on.
It's that sort of thing where I'm like, if a horse has pinged every fence before they get to like the festival or whatever, you're like, oh, this guy's an amazing jumper, but he's never made a mistake. So the first time he does make a mistake, or she make a mistake, it really like takes them by surprise, and they don't really know how to respond to it. Whereas if they've made a couple of mistakes, novice errors, in their first couple of starts in races, they still then go on and win, and they build their confidence from that. Then I'm willing to. I think.
Do you know?
11 to 8.
Do you know what? If you want to compare it to the flat, I suppose it's like a horse coming off the bridle for the first time. You've got a horse that's maybe won a race without coming off the bridle. That you're not quite sure when they do come off the bridle what's there, and if they are going to find as much as say something that's been hard off it.
It's why you see sometimes the jockeys on the flat. You think, why are they riding this horse? He's won. He's clearly won. Obviously, they don't get stuck into them with the stick or anything like that. But they show them the stick, and because they have to teach them at some point. They're gonna have to come off the bridle. They're gonna have to be tested at some point. So it's good to see in these early novice races that they get taught, because this is their job and this is what they're getting. It's the time to learn, and then when they come against the big boys, then which is a bigger race, it's a better race at Cheltenham this weekend. Hopefully, he can show what he's all about. On to the next bests. Dawn, who's your second in for this weekend?
This is the race I always love to get my fangs stuck in, and I script writer 2 years ago. You've the lovely Burdett Road, who won it last year. The Triumph Hurdle Trial, the Grade 2. You're going to learn a lot from this, I think. And I'm
crossing swords here. We're crossing swords.
Well, I'm hoping it comes home to Ireland, and I'm hoping it goes to Prairie Angel. Now, 2 on the flat, 2 over hurdle. Her win to Slurricane at Down Royal. Danny Mullins took the ride. Poor old JJ7 is on the sidelines at the moment. And Danny got off her and he said, just as long as JJ has a nice recovery, you know, he needs to just take his time.
Take his time because
so getting
he wants to
more.
ride. He wants to ride
I'm getting
again.
more of the rides now. He's not. He's riding at Navan this weekend. But Richie Deegan is up now. Richie Deegan is so good. He doesn't ride as much in the UK, but he was brilliant on another horse that isn't running this weekend. Is going straight to the Bryn Mawr, which is Jordanes, who I'm obsessed about. You'll hear me all season going on about him. Richie rode him the last day. He was brilliant on him. But she only started her racing career at Dundalk back in February as well. Fun family fact, she's Prairie Dancer's full sister as well. Now, I will also mention here, and this is out of interest purposes, maybe a little bit of tentative each way play. Model Approach in here, bred by Jim Bulger. Rich will know where I'm going with this. I had to tell him to keep his hands under his legs last week with Model Approach's half sister who went through. Bobby O'Ryan ended up buying her, but he had obviously seen what Model Approach has gone on and done with Adrian Keighley. She was 9-1. She's gone out to 10-1. I mean, whatever. You're going to say whatever there. But it's an interesting fact that we were lucky enough to see the yearling at the Goffs yearling sale last week as well. So, yeah, I'm all over. This is my next best for the weekend. Prairie Angel, Richie Deegan up. Joseph O'Brien is on fire, and we're at 10-3 at the moment.
4-1. 4-1. So,
4-1 fun.
Is your next best in this race?
No, it's not, believe it or not. But
I thought it was going to be, because mine is.
No,
I thought you were going to say something about East India Dock then, and I was like, if we've gone 3.
No, Model Approach is entered tomorrow though, so
okay.
Yeah, may well run twice. You never know, but
yeah.
No, if I was looking at that race, I would probably look to take on East India Dock from a price perspective.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know East India Dock, half brother to Burdett Road. The horse I do like is My Noble Lord. Now,
you can do my work for me. Go on.
The more test in this race will suit, because winning last time was not easy, mainly because it just didn't suit the horse. He's a big athletic animal who needs a good gallop to aim at, and the extra distance will probably suit, and the stiffer test. So yeah, I'd probably look to be on My Noble Lord. Obviously, Rich, you can say what you want to say about him now.
Yeah, he is my next best, My Noble Lord. Obviously, he sort of has to be, because he's one of my 5 to follow. He won before the 5 to follow came out, and that's the reason that I selected him in the 5 to follow was that race. And I know the comments, like you say, after the race were that he needed a bit more of an end-to-end gallop to be seen at his best. I know he's got a little bit to find with Prairie Angel and East India Dock on flat ratings, only a few pounds, but there is a tiny bit to find there. But I'm hoping if Model Approach does run, you expect Model Approach to go out in front, and there will be pace on. If Model Approach doesn't run, I'm hoping, because it's Cheltenham and they like to, make it a bit of a test, and front runners have a pretty good record at Cheltenham, that there will be enough of an honest pace on that it will be an end-to-end gallop. It won't be stop-start. They'll be coming down the hill pretty quickly as well, sweeping in off that bend. And yeah, I've just got to stick with him. And 9-2, I think it's pretty much almost an each way bet to nothing, I think. I can't see really any way he comes out of the top 3. So I'll definitely be having, if he drifts out to 5s, I'm definitely on each way. But I'm even tempted to go each way and just take a tiny loss if he gets placed. And if he does, a bit of each way thievery. If he gets placed, then you take your medicine, you come away with not much lost. And if he wins, then my 5 to follow looks good. I beat Dawn, which is always nice to get one up on the Irish expert. And but we shall see. It's a good race. I do like these juvenile races, and these horses, they tend to improve like rapidly at different times because they are so young. They've got a lot of learning to do. And a lot of the time you think, where did that result come from? You can't see it in the form or anything, but it's just literally because they might have grown a little bit more. They might have matured a little bit more. And yeah, I'm hoping that more into-end gallop will suit my noble lord. And yeah, he can get, unfortunately for you, Dawn, beat you on this occasion. But if you beat me, then props to yourself.
Have
What's the
you
plot?
been the cheek and being over this side of the pond and not even switching, you know, that way? It's what we call a hedge jumper.
All
in this
my
country. You've
5 to follow.
experienced Joseph all season.
Yeah, I know. On the flat, all my 5 to follow.
Yeah. And look at what he's doing over the sticks as well. I mean, he's a dual purpose stream.
Well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see on Saturday.
We'll see him win.
Oh, we'll see. I mean, I'm very rarely wrong on this podcast.
To be fair, I always agree with somebody, and I agree more with Rich than I do you at the moment, though.
Well,
maybe it's just the Brits against the Irish.
Because I've had a slow start in November.
No, that's not the reason.
You're forgetting who has the keys to the house too. So in Ireland.
Yeah, that is true. You've lost my train of thought now. I was actually going to end that on a good note, but I completely forgot.
What you did?
It was that my
Joseph O'Brien wins. End up.
My 5 to follow is all English, all British horses. So I've got to stick with the Brits until Cheltenham comes around. I've got to do my best to try and. I know they're going to come over and pillage most of the races. Hopefully, this is one that stays on this side of the pond. Okay, on to Danny for his next best.
We're going back to the all-weather. That's where the bread and butter is.
I like it.
So we're off to the listed race at Newcastle, the 3:15, which is the Churchill Stakes. Now, William Haggis, a lot of people have been watching this week. They'll have seen that William Haggis, who farms these listed races, he won the River Eden and the Fleur de Lis at Lingfield, both listed races with fillies. He wins that race every year. So I'm going to stick with him here with Dubai Honor, obviously the Globetrotter that is. He's still relatively unexposed on the all-weather. I think he's only run twice on the all-weather. He's won once and finished second on the other occasion. He's very consistent, and what more can you say about him? You know, from an owner's perspective, he's a dream. Yes, he has to give weight away, but he's a talented animal, and I think he's head and shoulders above these. You've still probably got Peaceman in here who's relatively unexposed, but I think Dubai Honor's going to be the one to beat for me. He's had a little bit of a freshen up since his globe-trotting summer, so yeah, I'll stick with him. I think 9 to 4 is probably value. I think he probably goes off closer to 6 to 4, 13 to 8 on Saturday. So yeah, Dubai Honor for me, my next best, 9 to 4.
I only knew about this race because I got a tracker alert for Tyrrhenian Sea, so I knew the race was happening.
Yeah, good to see him back.
But yeah, it's nice.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, lovely horse, isn't he? Lovely horse to look at, that's for sure.
He's definitely the class horse in the race, and he Dubai Honor. So
yeah. Well, when I've seen that he's even in that race, I'm just like flipping heck. Yeah, he's got weight to give away, but he's a talented animal, that's for sure.
Yeah,
you know.
I was on the discussion of Dubai Honor, and just watch this name being dropped. But William Haggis gave a beautiful bottle of wine to my uncle, who travelled Dubai Honor when he went globe-trotting and won one of his races. So we drank a lovely bottle of wine thanks to Dubai Honor, and it definitely hit the spot. So tomorrow night, if he does it again, it will definitely be hitting the spot.
I like it. Right, each way plays. Dawn, I guess we'll come to you for yours.
You know where I'm going to go with this, don't you? Can you guess already? We got a lovely tweet from the owner earlier.
Oh, yeah, Z-Band.
Z-Band, yeah, 14 to 1. I'm not going to forsake him because I said, please, 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 Paul Gilligan, let him follow in the hoof prints of Buddy 1. Jack Gilligan is up. He's taken the weight off. He ran his heart out behind 4 Clean Aces. I mean, he was at the front for a lot of it at Galway. And then he came back at her again. Obviously, I had done, the thing on Twitter. And I had spoken about what was the horse to take out of that race. And the horse was the second horse, even though the cardinal rule is do not talk about a second horse. But he was the most eye-catching. I'm glad he's following in the hoof prints off Buddy 1. I would be delighted for Paul Carty, who owns him. The Horses by Sea, the Stars. He's been very, very good to our subs too. He didn't like the flat as much during the summer, but he's come back bouncing. And yeah, I really like him in here. The other horse in here that I think is a threat to him is Gavin Cromwell's Noble Birth. Daniel King is up, and Daniel King is worth his weight in gold with his claim. Started off at Dundalk as a very good jock on the flat. Now he's over the jumps, and his strike rate back in October was so good. You were kind of backing everything he was on, whether, you thought it had 3 duck eggs or 3 firsts in front of it. Daniel King, watch him, because he's also riding for Tony Martin on the Saturday at Cheltenham too. So yeah, I think this horse might be a little bit of a threat, to Z-Band, but at each way play 14-1. What more do you want? You've also got, he came close to the Wall Park as well. The Wall Park is my pre-Tomps fancy for Cheltenham. He's going straight to the pre-Tomps. So, and a lot of that form is being franked with the Wall Park. So Z-Band for Paul Gilligan, for Jack Gilligan. I hope he goes there or thereabouts. Each way play on Z-Band.
Okay, nice one. The day you call it its correct name as the Pertense is probably a die, isn't it?
Gets me every time.
I know. I love it. It's stuck, but yeah, it is the Pertemps for Wall Park.
And I mostly have. Did you have the winner of the pre-temps at Cheltenham this
There's
year?
no such race, so no, I didn't.
Whatever.
Right,
whatever
moving swiftly on.
Well,
Danny, your each way play.
Okay, so I'm going to the Greatwood Handicap Hurdle on Sunday. Now, I'm not going to give it away because we do have one in here already for sub members. However, there is one in here that I'm maybe looking at from a bit of value and maybe looking forward for the rest of the season. Now it's a horse called Be Aware. Now be aware of this horse because Dan Skelton, he targets these handicaps, doesn't he? And this horse, he goes well fresh. He won on his first start last year. I think he's open to plenty of improvement, and he's one that I've got a keen eye on. Maybe looking at something like the Lanzarote Hurdle or the Betfair Hurdle. He looks like that type of horse, and we know that Dan Skelton does well in those type of events. So I'll have a keen eye on him on Sunday. I think 12-1 probably is value. If you're getting towards 8-9-1, probably not for me. But I'll have a little saver on him because, as you know, we've already got one for the subs, but we can't tell people that. So if you want to know what that is, then you've got a couple of days to sub up. You can have that horse, and you can have a little bit on this lad as well. So yeah,
I like that.
There you go.
I like that. A nice little plug. I've actually also just received a text, and sub members are now getting 40 quid in free bets, not 30.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, that's what the text is.
Can I be a sub member?
It was please send me all the usernames of the current subs because we're going to give them an extra tenner.
That is insane.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? So if you're not a sub member, you're paying 30 quid a month. Some people are paying less if they're students, by the way. And you get 40 quid in free bets. And trust me, you do not want to miss the Black Friday deal because I'm going to actually release
the winner of the Greatwood.
About that. And you get the winner of the Greatwood, hopefully, as well.
Yeah. Can I just mention that when you do sign up, it costs you 30 quid. Just to spell it out to people, you then get 40 quid with net 88, and you don't even need to deposit to get that. You know, all these bookies that say you get 30 quid if you deposit 30 and that, you don't need to deposit. Sign up to Digitips, sign up to net 88, drop us a message, tell us your username, 40 quid straight in your account. Tom is brilliant. He near enough does it straight away. So
Exactly. Basically, you're getting
what do
free
you want?
money. So I don't know why we haven't got
And they offer best odds
thousands
the
of
night
subs. But
before.
anyway,
Best odds guaranteed the night before.
Yes.
moving on
Crazy.
to my each way play. Now, I was very close to putting up Bal Hambar. You'll know that I'm a big fan of Harry Derham, as I mentioned on my 5 to follow. I think he'll be champion trainer within the next 5 years. He's got a lot of ammunition already. He's got a lot of wealthy and good owners behind him already as well. And he is on his way to the top. He is in slightly poor form in the last 2 weeks, 21 days. The horses I've been watching haven't really been finishing off their races. I don't know if that's because they all need the run. I mean, I don't think it is that. So there might be something going around the stable that's not been caught onto yet. But willing to take a chance. And my each way play was going to be Balhambar in the last race at Cheltenham tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Well, today probably if you're watching this on Friday. But he's now 4-1. He was 9-1 and 8-1 in places. So I think he might have been looking at the low sun and thinking we'll get a give me 5 thing where they don't jump half the hurdles and he just goes round and wins. But he's 4-1. So he's too short for an each way play. So I'm flicking to another one of his, and that's in the first race at Cheltenham, the 110. And this horse is called Ilva de Soy, Ilva de Soie, maybe one of those two. Now I've just seen the price is now 14-1 from 9s. So all the horses winning has been done on soft ground. So this might be why he's drifting. I'm not sure. But last time out, I mean, he absolutely screams improving hurdler, 6-year-old. This typical type to win one of these races. He's rated 122. I think that's low. I think he's probably a 130 horse. Alice Stevens gave him a great ride last time, won pretty easily. So he's untapped potential. It's a conditional jockey's race. So Alice Stevens is back on again. But unfortunately, this time she doesn't claim the 5. There's a few jockeys in here that are claiming, but she's obviously a little bit more experienced, which is usually good in these types of races. If you've got the more experienced jockeys, you tend to be on the ones that you want to be on. So yeah, Ilva de Soie, I'm going to call it that. I'm hoping that I get it right with the commentator tomorrow. 14-1. I think the horse is well in off 122. So yeah, willing to take a chance. I mean, there's a lot of horses in here that are all off very similar weights. So he is carrying 11-11, and the top weighted is what 12-2. So yeah, nearer the top of the weights, but they're all. I mean, the bottom weighting is only off 10-7. I can see. So yeah, it's quite tightly packed as you expect. It's a competitive race, competitive handicap. The favourite is 4-1. So yeah, it's a competitive race. I just think this horse has got a little bit more in the tank and will be an improving type, and hopefully. My tracker has got Phantom of the Points, but he hasn't run for a long time either. So if he needs the run, he needs the run. I'm just hoping that at 14-1 he can do something.
Are you sticking with Harry Durham in the Gold Cup handicap?
Who's he got?
He's got Imagine from.
Yeah, he does like it. He does like the horse. I saw an interview, and it was what horse are you most excited about? What race are you most excited about? And the answer was Imagine in the Gold Cup. So yeah, he clearly has a soft spot for that horse, and I think could go close. At the moment, I'm pretty much backing Harry Derham blind, which is why I've realised that in the last 3 weeks he hasn't been doing that well, because in handicaps I think it is he makes money to BSP, so he's one that won't last. He'll be overbet at some point, but while he's not, then I'll be backing all of them.
Protectorate carrying top weight in that race.
I know, yeah, it's a good race. That I know Dawn's going to quickly whip through them, but yeah, you're going to whip through all the races, aren't you? You said.
Well, the ones that I put down of note, I'm not going to go for the. And this isn't being rude to anybody who does it, but the Saturday, John Bon and that. Well, he's tomorrow, but John Bon and that, I'm not.
Oh no! I don't expect you to do that.
Way.
I mean, you may as well start.
I'll give you what I have written down, but there's been ones that I've avoided because there's no point I'm finding at the moment, and it's just a quip of mine, a lot of, not that I'm calling any podcasts out or anything else, because everybody's doing a great job and there's room for everyone. I do think there's oversaturation of people talking about the same horses. And it's like, even with our 5 to follow, Rich, we talked about horses that you wouldn't, I know I have like Firefox in there and that, but Firefox I started with in a bumper, I'm allowed him. But some of the others you wouldn't know. Otherwise it gets bored. You're hearing the same names over and over again. And you like the smaller trainers that need a shout out. There's really good horses as well. Not all top 3 trainers are going to be winning all the time. They're not. And then everybody on a Saturday is going to have their lip hanging and crying into their Chinese. So, we're going to keep it a little bit different.
I like it. I mean, yeah, I kept I did pick Sergino as the superstar, but I tried to keep my 5 to follow as a little bit something different, because it's like, oh, John Bond, Constitution Hill. It's like, oh, come on, guys, come on. Have some personality. Not that I'm calling anyone out either, but maybe I am.
Passion.
Yeah.
My passion. My footwork. My energy.
More energy.
Okay, right. Dawn, you can talk us through the rest. If there's any other fancies that anyone's got, throw them out there.
Well, are we going to talk about the Troytown at all? Did anybody else look at the Troytown, or was it just me? It's all on me again, is it?
You love the Troytown. We have left it.
I've left it to you because you gave us Cocoa Beach at 20-1 last year, and it put you on the map at the very start. So go again.
Yeah, and we're not having Coco. I thought Coco would turn up, but he turned up for his photo shoot during the week in his lovely red rug anyway. But Gordon has an army going if they don't all come out come declarations tomorrow. So bear in mind, this is going to be there's no jockeys declared even. So, things could change when you've got people, who could be taking something off or whatever else. Staskini, I've been following. He's got 10 on his back. He didn't start at Cork at the start of the month because he had a stone bruise, but he had a nice win at the start of October at Sligo. The ground is going to come up good. Now, they are watering, but we're getting no rain. We're getting no rain whatsoever, and trainers are pulling their hair out now because, we're getting the real winter horses and they're not getting the squelch that they want. Turles was called off again today because they have no way of watering it. So that's 3 Turleses we've lost now. But anyway, he was 5th in the Munster National, Staskini, and he was 5th to Pink in the Park in a beginner's chase at Galway. So Pink in the Park, we've seen her, what she went and done. She got her black type 2 weeks ago. Again, I'm going off that Jordan's form. I'm going off Solness as well. All that form line is very, very nice. So Staskini in here, really like him. And Percival Legolas, he was 6th at Listowel. Now, you can't really take much from that Kerry National because it was Flooring Porter and the rest. But he made a massive mistake at the 10th. And if you've Mark Walsh up on Percival Legolas, he's going to give him everything. Limerick Lace was 2nd in this race last year. She went down on her sword. American Mike is probably the classiest in here. Zana here is in the Lismullen, so he's not actually running in the Troytown now. And you've got Chemical Energy in here. They've both got 11 up. But for me, I think Staskini does come very close. And look, I couldn't get very many prices, but I take Percival Legolas at each way play. The other 2, watch. Now, American Mike, I love him. I'll have a sentimental bet because he's won twice at Navan last season. He's turned round. He's had a big turnaround. But Staskini in here for me, I think he'll go there or thereabouts. Bahrain. Have we all done Bahrain, or is it just
I've looked
me?
at Bahrain. I'm just going to say Percival Legolas. He's 14-1, and Zucchini is 16-1. So yeah, nice big prices to get. Oh, if you get the winner of the Troytown again at double figures, I mean, we may as well just give up now and we'll just leave
retire.
It to you. We may as well retire. We can retire and never do this again because we should be retiring to a beach somewhere, like a Cocoa Beach.
Yes.
Yeah, I did look. That was off the cuff as well. I did look at the Bahrain race. Yeah, the Bahrain Trophy. I mean, what is there? 400 70,000, between that and £500,000 to the winner. So obviously you've got some good horses going over there for what is a Group 2. I think that Lead Artist and Andromeda, who both get weight in the race, they'd be my 2 selections. I don't know. I can't see any prices for these, so I don't know how.
Lead Artist is 10-3 and Andromeda is 12-1.
Okay, so I mean, Alcantor has since won after being 3rd at Longchamp when Andromeda was 2nd in that race. I mean, the ground's going to be totally different to what she had to deal with on Arc Day, but I think she gets weight off of all of these, and I think she's probably a decent bet at 12s. I didn't realise the price, and Lead Artist probably a little bit short at that price for me. I thought it might be 6-1, but he's
good friend Kieran Schumacher up.
I know, yeah, Kieran's on. I haven't given him a text. Maybe I should. He obviously won a Group 3 last time. He lost to Kim Ross in a Group 2 the time before that, and then he won a Group 3 the time before that. So it's around his level. So he's only a 3-year-old, so could be still improving. Form looks strong enough for him to go close, and that's probably why he's 10-3, 100-30. It's not a race I'm going to be getting stuck into, but I might have a little play on Andromeda at 12s. So a little each way bet on Andromeda at 12-1. What about you?
Which, me or Danny?
So I'm
I can't see who's looking at what. Andromeda for me, because I'm going off that Longchamp form, and you know how I feel about Alcantor, who broke our hearts and broke the subs' hearts, and we thought was going to win at Longchamp, but it didn't quite happen. So all is forgiven. If people are confused with the times, it's 4:35 tomorrow in Bahrain, but our time. Lead Artist, I see your point, and I really liked her all her season. Point Lonsdale is in here. I mean, there's all the Point Lonsdale fans. I just don't think he's good enough to win this. You've last year's winner in here, and there's a horse in here at 66-1. This isn't going to be an audience thing all over again, but I think people are being a bit snobbish towards Sovereign Spirit, an ex-Andrew Balding horse, but has been winning one the start of November, I think, in Bahrain. So, I mean, you've got a bit of course form there and whatever else. I don't know why we're 66-1 unless they know something we don't, that way. So, I mean, if you've got €1 or a couple of quid stuck there and it's going spare, I wouldn't say no if you're reading the form there. And an ex-Andrew Balding, I mean, they train on. So, yeah, just that's my musings. I'm not saying follow me with that, but I will be following myself with that. So that's Sovereign Spirit at 66-1. But Andromeda for me, I said it to you the other night, Rich. That's the horse it's about. Yeah,
when I looked through the race, I was like, yeah, that's the horse. I didn't realise the price. So, Danny, have you got an opinion in that race?
Yeah, I'm a big Nation's Pride fan, to be honest. I think last year in the race, he had to go forward from his wide draw. He's a keen going horse. And they ran him after winning in Woodbine the previous month. And I think he's the type of horse that runs better after a break. Now he's been freshened up since winning in August. So I think coming here off the back of that will suit him. He's got a better draw. I think he's about 9-2, 5-1. I think he's the best horse in the race for me, to be honest.
Nice, pretty simple. Keep it simple and go with it.
Yeah, 9-2, 5-1 is quite big for me.
A nice price, nice one. Right, there is one other horse that I'm gonna stick out for this weekend if he runs. I'm actually gonna. I haven't tipped him to the subs yet, but I am going to.
Oh.
It's gonna be my first ANTEPOST Cheltenham Festival bet.
Oh, you are.
What? Oh yeah, flat. He's gone. Did
earlier, you must have heard me saying my ANTEPOST.
Yeah, he
He's
didn't.
not even got out in November or anti-posting for Cheltenham. You
I know,
kidding?
and I'm not one to anti-post either.
Hungry.
I'm not one to anti-post unless the prices are ridiculous. And this
I hope
price
this
to
is
me
good.
is ridiculous. It's 50-1. It is Peaky Boy for the Brown Advisory Novice Chase. The horse has been, well, he's been bought to be a chaser. He won 2 hurdles last year, both at Cheltenham, so we know he likes the track. He apparently, through the grapevine, he's been working the house down at Seven Barrows. He's obviously trained by Nicky Henderson. He's been schooling really well. And yeah, he's a point-to-point winner. He was bought for £240,000 in 2022 at the Cheltenham Festival Horses in Training point-to-point sale. I think that's like on after racing on one of the days, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, so he was bought at that. He's entered Sunday, and I don't usually like to take a price before they run because usually they get trimmed in just because. But he's not in a load of markets. Now I've had him added to the Betfair market today. I don't think they've done it yet. And I've had him added to a couple of bookies markets. Now the 50s was only available with a couple of bookies, and I'm hoping that Net88 will have him up for us. They might not yet, but if they haven't, you're looking at a different horse. I think if he runs on Sunday, he'll hopefully win and win well. He won't then be 50s. He'll be probably a stupid price like 16s or something. So I will be tipping this to the subs. Because the 50s isn't going to go from this podcast, hopefully. If it does, then I'm sorry to everybody. But I haven't even placed the bet yet. I was hoping for the bet to get up so then I can put an overlay over the top of this to show that I've actually put my money where my mouth is, which I will be doing at some point. Yeah, there's lots of horses at the head of that market that won't run in the race. Obviously, the likelihood is that the race will go to Ireland, but I'm going to throw one in there for the UK and hope that Henderson and Peaky Boy can win the Browns next year.
He's made for fences anyway, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been bought for fences. And yeah, here he's been working quite well.
Yeah, someone's nibbled in for Sunday already. I wonder who that might be.
What price is he for Sunday?
10-3, but he was 5-1.
Yeah, I wonder who's had a little bet on that. He'll go off 2s.
You peeking through the hedges, Adam.
It's not me, but I know who it will be.
You might have just convinced me to have an anti-post bet, Rich. But then
there
again,
you go. So you walked out the room, and now you're actually going to back him.
You're an influencer.
It's the effect you have on people.
It's the effect I have. It's the way I just talk about these horses. So yeah, that's my musings for the pod. I'll come back after Dawn's been through and given us a few more for this weekend. John Bon, and then yeah, basically I'll plug DigiTips and say about the giveaway again.
What about Paddy Power Gold Cup? Are we talking about that?
You can.
Okay.
Right. So shall I just run through? Do we have enough? Do we?
Yeah, we've got time. We've got as much time as we want.
Okay, well, as I alluded to, Zana here is going into Liz Mullen at Navan. You've Bob Ollinger turning up. You've Jatara. We seen Jatara win on the end of the flat season at the Curragh 2 weeks ago. She's 4-1 in here. Now, interesting enough, and Gordon has had horses in races before where Jack has ridden Jatara. This time he's not riding Jatara. He is riding for Gordon. He's riding Zana here. Zana here is 15-2 in here. I'm going to have a tickle on Zana here. He deserves a good day. But gorgeous Dawn Rising as well. He's back over hurdles. I'm delighted. So, which means maybe the plans are he will go to Cheltenham. Maybe. So yeah, he's back. Beacon Edge is in here. He's 20-1 after his big win in the UK 2 weeks ago. Home by the Lee, that crazy Becker. He's 4-1 in here as well. But I like Zana here at 15-2 here. I think he's due his day. I think Dawn Rising. I adore him. I would follow him off a cliff, but I think the day I back him is the day he doesn't win. So I'll just sit back and enjoy him again. In the Fortia, whatever you want to call it, Bambridge. very interesting booking with Banbridge. Paul Townend is riding. So I like the look of him a lot. Solness is in here for Brosnan Racing. Again, if you're going off the Jordan's form, Found a 50. He's 2-1. I think Found a 50 should probably hack up in here. And Captain Guinness is back for a third time to try and win this. But out of them all, the way Found a 50 were on at Down Royal and won. I'm having Found a 50 in here. So my roundup for Navan Saturday is Zana here, Found a 50, Winnie Hill, Mr. Percy, and Tuna Grieve, well, for Ian Donahue. Punchestown tomorrow. The lovely Katie's horse, Sound Victorious, was 5th in the champion bump at Cheltenham. He's out to play, debuting on his season debut. So that's my only bet for Punchestown tomorrow. Cheltenham Friday. Buddy won. John Bond. Fame after the glory. Gail Mahler, as I said, each way play. Saturday, San Salvador. Joseph's on fire. Galore. Let's Go Champ at each way play because Henry's horses are on fire at the moment as well. And watch the betting with, I've mentioned Daniel King for Tony Martin. Hamazian. Now, if you remember rightly, Hamazian was second to Alfonso Legrand on the flat. So just watch the betting there. And then Swing Davis is entered. Swing Davis cost 360,000 at the Punchestown Goff's sale. We seen Full Confession during the week, who also came from that sale, winning for Willie. He only cost 60,000. This is a big money honey horse. But going against Carmeletta Vega, etc. This is the bumper that Only by Night won last year. So whatever comes out of this, you mightn't get all the way to, sorry, Danny, Cheltenham, but it's a good horse wins this race because, as I say, Navan is very, very tough. And my Romeo, he is out on Sunday. He's in the Monksfield Grade 3. And, of course, I'm all over that. So, yeah, that's all my stuff. That's it. I'm done. Hopefully you had a pen and a piece of paper and you wrote them all down. Otherwise, there'll be rhymes and rhythmic tunes on Twitter all over the weekend.
Right. Thank you. Love it.
Did you mention Found a 50 there, Don?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised taking on Joseph O'Brien then.
But it's Gordy, so I mean I can't jump ship all the way. He was good to us yesterday.
I think I'll take you on with Banbridge there.
Right.
Well,
who you got for us, Danny, then, the rest of the weekend?
I've just had a quick look at the Paddy Power Gold Cup. We won it the other year with Galore coming back into this race again to try and win it again. Ginny's Destiny, head of the betting, 3-1. Can see why. Obviously won the race with what was the next Stage Star?
Yeah.
On the return last year. So Ginny's Destiny, first run back this year, is favourite for the race, which, yeah, I can see that. Il Redotto, always there or thereabouts. Can see why he's towards the head of the market as well. But I'll probably stick with the Skeletons this weekend. I'm gonna have a little bit on Protectorate. I think he's versatile ground wise. Yeah, he's got 12 stone in his back, but he's the best horse in the race. You know, it's a handicap, and usually you want to be on the ones towards the top end of the handicap for me when the ground's a little bit quicker, because yeah, there is plenty of weight on the back, but they're the best horse in the race for a reason. And when you go through Protectorate's form, you can soon see why he's carrying top weight, because it's pretty phenomenal. So I'll stick with Protectorate. I think 12-1 is a bit of an insult, really. Probably should be more towards 7-1, 8-1 for me. But you've got Fugitive in here as well, who'll be thereabouts. I think finished 4th in the race last year. So I'll back Protectorate, but add to your short list if you're going to have a little TriCast or forecast: Fugitive, Il Redotto, Galore, and Ginny's Destiny.
Okay. It's a good race. Normally this race has a couple of decent horses in it, but I think it's pretty shit.
And at the same time, you've got them horses that usually go there and kind of just blow up towards the end. But there's these types of horses that run in this race year in, year out. You know, it's an early season target for some trainers. So it doesn't surprise you to see the same sort of horses coming back to try again. And they'll be there or thereabouts, you would have thought.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's me lot.
Nice one. Right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to our musings. Fingers crossed there's some winners in there. I will just mention that I did say about our Black Friday deal. Now, it's not out yet, but I am going to give the podcast listeners the first scoop of what it actually is. So we are going to do a half price offer. So subs will be half price for 3 months.
Wow.
You'll also get your now £40 in free bets during that time and ongoing. And you will need to be a member from the end of the Black Friday deal to enable you to get the £100 free bets at Cheltenham Festival. I think
Sorry,
it's
did you say 100?
£100 in free bets at Cheltenham.
Holy.
That's not including the extra 30 quid that you're going to get, or £40 now that you're going to get. So in that month, you'll get 140 quid in free bets.
Hell.
Spin Willie's Wonder Wheel.
Yeah, I think it's going to be split into 4 £25 free bets. So you have 25 quid a day at Cheltenham. You're welcome to use that all on one day if you wanted. But yeah, that's what you're going to get from DigiTips for Black Friday. So make sure you sign up. If you sign up before then, you are included. Any current members as well are included in the £100 for Cheltenham as well. And yeah, it's going to be a wild ride up until then. We're going to hopefully have a lot more content coming out from us, some guests. Hopefully we're going to be recording some stuff in December to get out to you. And what else was there? Surely that's got to be it. The fact that we're winning as well at the moment means that, you know, the FOMO is there. Surely the FOMO is real. I mean, if I wasn't running this, I'd be a member. So
there's a fair few people looking on the website these days, so they're sniffing.
Yeah, there are people on there. The website does need a little refresh, and I will be getting onto that to make sure this Black Friday deal goes up. If you wanted to know more, there's a little at the bottom of the website, www.digitips.co.uk. You can put your email in, and we will contact you via email marketing when this deal goes live, and I'm sure you'll be seeing it on all over our socials when it does.
And make sure you click subscribe.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, please. So all the support is we love all of you. Support is
like, comment, and subscribe.
Dawn, do you want to see us off?
Right. Luck, love, light, and laughter as always. This mental 3 days, the Troytown Wonder at Navan, or if you're at Bahrain, follow that Prairie Angel where Zanahir can with Buddy One for some fun, Z-Band the man, Galore for sure. Be lucky.